Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical and episode 4 of our night vision series. Today I want to talk about how to use your night vision, because when I got these, I had never used night vision before. Rick's Tactical sent them out to me to make this content, actually to make one review video, but I'm doing an entire series and the full review will be the last video of the series. That'll be week 6. Week 4, we're going to talk about how to use this, because I had no idea really what I was doing when I got this. And I'm sure many of you, if you don't already have night vision, probably don't know either. But if you want to get into night vision, I'm telling you right now that you do, well then this video should be very, very helpful. So make sure you're subscribed and let's talk about how to use this $5,000 piece of equipment. This video is brought to you by Stopbox. Unlike night vision, which relies on batteries, the Stopbox does not. This is all mechanical. You set your code. It's very ergonomic. It uses your hands. You memorize your code. You can use it in the dark. Works really well with night vision. This is perfect for your bedside because in the dark, you don't need to see anything. You can literally just feel for it, open it up, and have your firearm that quickly, that easily. Much quicker than you'll be able to get your nods on. So the first thing with night vision is you're going to want to be able to put it on your head. That's kind of the whole point. Now you can use these as a handheld binocular, and I've done that, especially when I've just gone to show other people how cool this is. I'll, turn it on and hand it to them. It will work that way, but the whole point of this dovetail mount and just the way these are designed is they're designed to be used on your head. That way your hand's free. You can use your hands for things like shooting or all kinds of other stuff. I've used these for a lot of things. Me and my daughter played hide and seek. My parents have a giant basement. We played hide and seek there last weekend when we were there for Thanksgiving. It was awesome. The seeker got to wear the night vision. The hider didn't, which really showed how much of an advantage you have when you have night vision. But so you're going to want to mount this on a helmet. Now, they make like skull crusher straps and stuff. I don't recommend that. I recommend a helmet for sure. Now, you can get, a very nice, very expensive helmet. You can go ballistic rated if you think you need that. A bump helmet is going to be lighter and it's also going to be more affordable. This is a very cheap helmet that I got off Amazon, designed for like airsoft, but it has worked great for me so far. So to mount it to your helmet, you have to get a helmet that has one of these night vision mount shrouds, and then you're going to need a mount. The G24 mount is pretty much the industry standard at this point. There are other mounts, but this style of mount is fantastic. So your night vision binocular or monocular. If you have a monocular like a PVS 14, you're probably going to need a J-arm, or you are. If you have binoculars, you're just going to have this dovetail mount. It slides right there, it clicks in. The next thing you want to do is you want to take these bungees and you want to make sure they're attached every time you use it. And the reason for that is that the G24 mount has a breakaway feature, basically to save your neck from getting broken if you run this into a tree branch or a door jamb or something. It's to save you, but you don't want your multi-$1,000 piece of equipment hitting the ground. These things are built pretty tough, but you don't really want to test it. And so you want some kind of something just to hold it on in case your mount breaks away, which it is designed to do. You could also do additional stuff like these bungees here. There are things that Velcro on that can go around. I mean, you want to protect this investment. And we're going to talk about that as well. Now, you see the covers on them. Good thing to have, because you don't want to have your night vision accidentally turned on with a bright light source shining at it. You will burn your tubes. That doesn't mean that this is something that you have to worry about. As long as you take decent enough care of it, it will take care of you. But yeah, don't just have your tubes on with nothing covering them, with bright lights shining at them. You will ruin your very expensive investment. Once you've got it on your mount, and you've got some retention on it to save that investment just in case. Well, this mount has a lot of adjustments, and I'm going to go over how to adjust it after a quick word from our channel partner. This video is sponsored by Aura. How important is privacy to you? Well, to me, it's actually very important, especially the older that I get. You have, a digital signature that follows you. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, so much of life is online now. And if you don't have something like Aura protecting you, well, then you just have a lot of your own personal information out there. And people that, are not very honest have access to that. There are data brokers on the dark web and just the regular internet that are out there finding your information, and then they're selling it to scammers and to, spam companies that, call you with stuff you don't want to hear about and send you emails. And, I have gotten very sick of getting spam, but the biggest thing is also scammers. They take that information and they get them from data brokers, and they use that information to try to scam you. I've been really surprised before when I've gotten calls from scammers how accurate the information that they had about me was, which, makes it seem like it's something legit when it's not. Well, I've had Aura for 8 months now, and I don't get spam calls anymore, and I haven't gotten calls from scammers in that 8 months. Aura is a really awesome service. You can set it up in a matter of minutes. It's very affordable. It gives you a VPN. It gives you, data broker removal. That's the big one to me. But all kinds of other services that help protect your privacy online, you get all that, and it's only $12 a month. But if you use my link down below, aura.com/sawtoothtactical, you get to try it out for free for 14 days. That's 2 weeks. See if you like it and decide if you want to keep it or not. Check it out, aura.com/sawtoothtactical. So the first thing you're going to want to do is adjust the pads in your helmet and the straps on your helmet so that it fits and doesn't move around much. This is a cheap helmet. It does move around a little bit on my head. With a better, more expensive helmet, I'm sure you can get it even better fitting than this, but this has worked very well for me so far. Now your G24 mount here has a bunch of knobs and stuff. And what these knobs do, it's hard for me to see the camera while I do this. So you have one up here, that moves the whole thing up and down. This one on the side is to rotate it, up out of the way or down for use. These ones on the side here are going to be in and out away from your eyes because you do want to be able to keep some peripheral vision, in my experience. So you don't want them right up next to your eyes, but at the same time, if they're too far away from your eyes, you're going to have a smaller field of view. So you do want them pretty close. I like where I have mine sitting right now. And then maybe the most important part is the lever, God, on the camera this hard, right here, which actually adjusts the angle of them. When I first put these on here, the angle was all wrong, and I didn't know how to use the G24 mount yet. And I thought that this wasn't going to work with this helmet, and I kind of panicked. And then I found that and adjusted it, and it worked perfectly. But play around with it. Get it to where it sits exactly where you want it, so that it's in front of your eyes, so that you have the correct field of view looking through them, but that you also have a little bit of peripheral vision as well. It is good to be able to see your actual external lighting conditions without just being sucked into your nods. Once you have your night vision mounted, you've got your mount all set exactly where you want. You've got your retention on it so that in case it breaks away like it's designed to, you don't damage your unit. You do need some kind of counterweight on your helmet. Now, the Rex Tactical RNV31 is a very relatively lightweight night vision device, but still without this counterweight, it would have been almost unusable for me. You got to think about where this helmet is sitting on your head. If you have a bunch of weight out front, it's going to want to do this unless you have something to counterbalance that. Now that can be battery packs, or it can be like what I have here, which is literally just lead weights. And they strap on here and they keep my helmet balanced. And it makes it very comfortable and easy to use. Now you're also going to want to put some hearing protection on here, especially if you're going to shoot with night vision, which is probably the ultimate goal here. But you can use it for a lot of other things before you even make it out to the range. But I found these mounts for my regular Walker's Ear Pro for like 20 bucks on Amazon. They've worked great so far. They flip out of the way, they pop in, they pop out. Very easy and very affordable. So then you've got your helmet all set up. I mean, not all set up. You can add lights, you can add a lot of stuff to a helmet. But at least with what I just talked about, you can now run night vision on your head. Put it on, go outside in the dark, and take a look up at the stars. Take a look around first. Take in how amazing the whole thing is. You're gonna notice, possibly, that stuff doesn't look quite as clear as you'd like it to be. Well, you have different lenses that you can focus. You have an ocular lens, which is the one closest to your eye. That's also called a diopter. And you've got your objective lens, which is this one out here. What I've found is that you basically set your diopter once. That really is just an adjustment to how well your eyes see. But your objective lens, you might use all the time. Now, when I first started using this, what I did, I'd watch some night vision videos and I set it to infinity, which is kind of like the default thing that people do. I took them, I stared up at the stars, and I adjusted them until the stars looked crystal clear. The more I used these, the more I walked around town at night, hiked in the mountains, went shooting, did stuff, like I said, LARPing in my parents' basement over Thanksgiving. You know, they have this huge basement that has tons of stuff in it. Very interesting and very dark. So using night vision indoors. Well, then I was looking at things closer by than the stars at infinity. The more I've used these, the more I've found that you do actually, at times you're going to want to adjust this objective lens, both of them. What I've found that works for me is if there is something that I am specifically trying to focus on, when I first started doing it, I would close one eye. I would adjust that one until it was very clear, close the other eye, adjust that one until it was really clear at whatever distance, whatever object, whatever thing that I was trying to focus on, and I would make that perfectly clear. And you can do that. You can adjust them for basically whatever distance you're looking at. You can make that distance clear, but just know that every other distance closer or farther away is not going to be in focus. The night vision can really only focus clearly at one distance at a time, which is why many people do just focus it at infinity and kind of leave it there. But I have found that it is really nice to adjust these depending what you're doing. It's nice to be able to see things clearly, and you can do that. If you're shooting, you can literally adjust them to where your target distance is, and then you'll have a clean, clear target, sight on your target there. If you're indoors, I've found that you basically want to focus them up closer. If you focus them to the right distance indoors, you'll be able to read things just fine. You'll be able to make out details very clearly. But if you go outside, yeah, maybe you want to focus them out farther to infinity. I like, if I'm taking a hike, I like to focus them so that the mountains look clear and I can see the detail on it. And you can do that. With more practice, I've realized that I don't necessarily have to close my eyes to do it. I can kind of just do it on the fly and realize when they're nice and clear, but that is something that you want to do. So now you've got your helmet set up, you've got them adjusted where you want them to be, and you've got them in focus depending on what distance you're looking at. Well, now you're pretty much ready to use your night vision. Go around, explore, enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. You can use it for a lot of things besides just shooting. Like I said, me and my 13-year-old daughter playing hide and seek in my parents' giant basement was a heck of a lot of fun. Going on night hikes by myself has been a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that I've done with this stuff. Looking at nature. My parents, like I said, we were up there for Thanksgiving. They've got deer that come in their yard all the time. I saw them in the daytime and I was like, man, I hope these things come out at night. And they did. And I was able to kind of, the deer don't expect you to be out at night. Kind of walked around the side of the house, and I was able to check out the deer at a very close distance in the dark, which I wouldn't have otherwise been able to see. Now that you're all set up here, you know how to use the night vision yourself. Are you going to shoot with it? That is kind of the ultimate goal. You're watching a gun channel, right? Do you have your gun set up for night vision? I don't really yet, but we're going to use this as an example. So you're probably going to want an infrared laser and illuminator, which I don't have, but I do plan to get one. Having a white light is very important on your gun, but white light is not really what you want to use under night vision. It defeats the whole purpose of being invisible, being able to see in the dark without others seeing you. You do want a suppressor. You don't need a suppressor, and in fact, I was shooting pistol without the suppressor, and honestly, muzzle flash was bigger on the suppressed rifle than the unsuppressed pistol. But your suppressor, besides being for sound signature reduction, is also for flash signature reduction, which is going to be helpful because your night vision, you might have Gen 3 auto-gated tubes. The more flash, the more it's going to auto-gate. These ones have bright source protection. That, that bright flash might be something that might affect how you're going to see. It didn't really affect me. I'm just saying it might. I was using a suppressor though. The other thing with your night vision is understand the features of it. So this one has manual gain. You turn it on, you use this knob for everything. This is again the Rix Tactical RNV31. It has IPD stops. You want to be able to set those. IPD is interpupillary distance. You want to be able to set them so that, they're the right distance away from each other for where your eyes are. Everybody's face is a little bit different. You can, by tapping this button a certain amount of times, you can make it to where they will automatically pod shut off if you flip them up to the sides like that, or if you flip the whole thing up out of the way. That's a nice thing too. That way you don't just have bright light shining out of here when they're not on your face. Know your features. If yours auto-gate, understand that. If they have manual gain or automatic gain, understand that and play with it so that you know how to use it. But back to the rifle. Besides not having an IR laser illuminator, I do think I am mostly set up for night vision. Otherwise, being that I already like to have my optics on risers. If you are passively aiming, you have these big tubes that you have to look through and then look through your optic. The higher up your optic is, the easier it'll be to passively aim through that optic with night vision tubes on your face. So I really like these Unity mounts. 2.26 inch optic height is very easy to look through with your night vision. I had no issues, even my very first time out, passively aiming through this EOTech. Now, you can, say you don't have night vision yet, you can future-proof yourself by getting an EXPS 3 model, which is the night vision model, which has a button for night vision, and you can very quickly go from your daylight setting on your EOTech to your night vision setting. I unfortunately did not do that. I have an EXPS 2 and I have an XPS 2. Don't worry, these optics will still work just fine under nods. Just know that you're basically going to be pushing that down button a lot of times until you get the reticle to a brightness that is usable under nods, because what these things do is they amplify light. And that reticle is light, and so you do not want to look at it on daytime regular brightness settings. It will not work for you. It's going to be ridiculously bright. So you want it turned down to where it's pretty much invisible to the naked eye, but under nods, it'll be perfectly visible. Now, pistol optics are the same way. I ran this pistol passively aiming through night vision. Just turn the reticle way down and it works great. Now, because of where your night vision focus is, when you're shooting pistols and rifles, it's pretty interesting because you don't really see your gun. You just present it and you just see a dot and you see your target. As long as that dot is on the target, you're gonna hit your target, which is pretty dang cool. You have nothing else like distracting you really. You just see your reticle and it just works. And that is the same with the rifle. But that's also another reason why you need to practice and train. And I believe even, dry fire training with your nods in your room at night, whatever, with the lights off, it's going to help you, because things like reloads, when your nods are focused at your target or at infinity, you can't just like look at stuff this close up to you. I was able to do reloads very easily because I do practice this kind of stuff and it's automatic for me. I was wearing a battle belt. I could drop my mag, grab a new one, stick it in, and because I have an ambi rifle here, hit my ambi bolt catch, it would go home, and I was right back in the action. It was pretty easy for me, but I do shoot all the time, and this stuff feels very natural to me at this point. If it doesn't feel like that to you, you probably do want to do some dry fire training at home under nods. See what it all looks like. See if you're able to do things like reloads and manipulations without being able to really see your guns. I'm not really going to go deep into tactics and all of that, being a sneaky squirrel in a combat situation under night vision, because I've never done that. And so that is not advice that I can give because I don't have that experience. This is more how to use your night vision for beginners, because that's what I am still technically. I've had these for 4 weeks now, but I have used them every single night for the last 4 weeks. So probably about 30 days I've used these in a row. I've used them for all kinds of different things. And I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable with them and learning and better understanding how to use them every day. So I figured if I can give you guys a little jump start on that, if you're thinking about getting into night vision, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions that I did not cover today, leave them down in the comments and I'll try to get those answered for you. Because I do feel like I've gotten pretty dang comfortable with these over the last month. Night vision is a whole lot of fun. Honestly, after I'm done recording this video, I'm going to go for a walk under nods like I've been doing every night because I just really enjoy it. I think it's super cool. I'm hoping to get back out this weekend and do another night shoot, like actually shooting guns under nods. We'll see if that ends up being in the cards this weekend or not, but I hope it does. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.